Okay, I'm going to try and give you a little bit of up close and personal about the gas bike. Okay, this is the gas bike. I'm sure I'm going to put new tires on it and put some brakes on it, because now, yeah, you see no brakes, right? There's no cables going to the brake. There's no brake shoes, no brake pads, no brake, nothing. You want to see the brakes? You want to see the brakes? Let me do this without turning the camera off, James. Okay, I'll show you the brakes. I'll show you my brakes. Okay, see my Jordans? See my Jordans? The bottom of my Jordans? That's my brakes, fool. That's my brakes right there. But anyway, check this out. Check this out. Okay, carburetor only being held on by bungee cords. See? Check that out. I can pull it off. 2 bungee cords, but it's holding it on pretty good. I mean, because no matter how tight you get that screw right there. I even put a new bolt on that's better than the bolt that was on there, man. And you just, for some reason, it just won't grip. All it will do is you'll vibrate the intake manifold. The aluminum that it's made out of is so, it's like not thin, but it's real soft. And these things vibrate so much that just vibrates them down, and you see like little shavings go off of them, you know, and that can be good for it, right? So how good is a gas filter going to be when you're getting little shavings of? It's so polished underneath there, it's unbelievable, the little part where they connect. But here's another thing I did. I call this my 50-mile-an-hour upgrade, because you have to have some kind of a method. There has to be something that keeps your chain on, right? Where the chain doesn't get off. Look at that. See how the chain can't come out of there? How there's a wheel on the top and a wheel on the bottom, completely enclosing the chain. It guides it right into the sprocket, and there's no way it just guides it straight on. You know, if your rim is on there straight like it's supposed to be, you know. And see, I got the bolts going. I got carriage bolts. I should have had them going the other direction, but when you look up close, you can see I put vice grips on the ends of the bolts. I put them ½ inch too long on purpose, so that I could bend them for 2 reasons. One reason, because they won't back the nuts won't back off of them. But another thing, it gives something for the chain to when the chain used to fall off the bike, it doesn't fall off anymore. It doesn't fall off going 50. And anyway, when the chain used to fall off, those things right there would stop the chain and would stop, you know, cut the motor off. Otherwise, it'd just sit there spinning and sawing on the bolts, you know. But that stops the chain and it jerks it to a stop. But you know, what can I do? And check out my tire. Check out how skinny my tire is. These really are wheelchair wheels. They're the $119 ones that you could order on eBay. They call them the economy tire, you know. But look how thin that tire is. Like, check that out. Look how non-existent that is. I mean, my kid got erasers on his pencil thicker than that. I'll take some shots of it with the flash turned on, and show you a better picture of it. I'll put them in the video. But I bet you this thing, I never got to see what it looks like with somebody else filming me going down the road. But I bet you those rims will keka tight flying by, you know, because people trip, man, when they, these dudes were over there walking by this one store the other day that's, you know, about 7 miles away from here, but that's nothing. I ride all over the place, man, like 20 miles and stuff every day. But anyway, this guy was telling his friend, he goes, man, see that? There's the dude right there. That's the dude I was telling you about, man. He almost knocked me down. I go, man, no, I didn't almost knock you down. Because I kind of remembered where I saw him from, because they did kind of spook me a little bit, because I thought, like, damn, here I am. Yeah, I probably startled the dude, because he did kind of jump, like, when I did go by him, you know. But I was doing at least 40 or maybe 45 when I passed by him. And he goes, man, he blew by me so fast I felt his wind, man, that I thought for sure he was going to knock me down. It looked like he's coming straight at me. He was telling his friend that. I go, man, he's exaggerating. No, he wasn't really exaggerating. I did come really close to him, but I do that to a lot of. I'll go between cars like so close that I'm even surprised my handlebars don't touch one of them, you know. But anyway, no fear, no. I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees. No brake, head in mud, going down hills. On the way home, I'm going to go down the Consumers River Bridge, the new bridge. I'm going to try and go like as fast as I can, and I know I can do it. But I just got to figure out this gas thing, man. Hijo de la chingao. Okay, bye. Signing out. Well, you know how Braille Skateboarding's got those videos that what they got, that you make it, we'll skate it. They got that one, but they also got this other one worst deck in the park, and worst trucks in the park, and worst wheels in the park. Well, James's worst engine in the park, okay? Check this out. You're not going to believe this shit. I'm saying, yes, I have went 50 miles an hour on this bike. Yeah, recently. I went 45 regularly on this bike. I've been clocked going 45 by more than one person. But check this out. Look. I don't know if you can see up in there good, but I'll enhance it. I'll enhance it so you can see good. I should make 2 versions of it. See how there's not even a motor mount on the bike? There's nothing. There's no actual motor mounts on this bike. The ones that go to it, there's no bolts going to it that goes to the motor mounts that are supposed to be on there. Just this homemade cage that I made myself and bolted straight through the frame. And bent these pieces of metal and put the bolts on them, and made a cradle for it, you know, a carriage cradle type thing out of angle iron, and bent angle iron around and made that square cradle for it first, and then I made all the little branch pieces that go around it, and the thick straps that go around it. And but still a little loose in there. Watch. Wait, I'll tip over the bike. It's only a teeny bit loose, but not bad. But it's only because the bungee cords is kind of like suspending it for a second, a little bit, but I definitely trust this. I definitely trust this cage that I made for that. I know the motor's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to. There's nowhere for it to. The whole thing would have to shatter and fall into pieces, but it's not falling off the bike. There's no way that engine is going to fall off the bike. There's no way any of the bolts are going to come loose because I stripped and broke the bolts off on, on purpose of all the bolts with the same thing I did over there to the rim, but I got the bolts along on purpose just so that I could put the vice grips on them and bend them until they broke off. Tighten it as tight as I possibly could and then break them off, The only bad thing is, man, when it comes to fixing or doing any kind of things to it, see how the muffler thing is broke off the part of the top part of my cylinder. I can't remember what it's called. My can or something. Anyway, my cylinder can thing, whatever it's called. The threads are all busted out on it and stripped out on it, going all the way through practically. There you can see the piston on all 3 holes. And I feel spray. Sometimes it sprays like fucking oil and shit out on my leg and gas and stuff. And but I'm gonna go to Simpson Motor Works and get another one. I'm just like, for some reason it still runs hella good because the piston that's in there, it hasn't been filed down. A lot of people will file the pistons down, and by mine it doesn't file down, so that it actually closes all the way. So when it combusts, it has full combustion. The people that file theirs out of the way they don't have full combustion on theirs because they're letting a lot of the pressure escape through that muffler thing, through that flat. When they do that, when they file them down like that, and sure, it lets in more air on the intake. So if it's one thing to file down on the intake, but not this side of it right here, not the exhaust side of it, because you want that to close all the way. You want there to be full combustion inside your cylinder. That's what I believe, And what else? You'll hear some people say torque down your head bolts and stuff to like 40 and stuff, and you'll hear some people, oh shit, you hear some people say 15. But my bolts are barely even on there, man. Not barely on there. They're tight enough they're not going to fall off. See, one thing about the bike, see how I have to stick the kickstand down in a crack? Because the smaller the tires get, the more it leans that direction, and it falls over hella easy. James, over and out. Please subscribe.